All right, good afternoon, guys, and welcome to Coffee Cafe. Yay, we finally are here. And guess what? We only have exactly 5 weeks left before the whole class is over. No more accounting. So, yes, so I plan, since we're already, we only have 5 weeks left. Well, now this is the fifth, this is the, one of the 5 weeks. So potentially I want to spend about 3.5 weeks on this, and then talk about closing, and then talk about basically the review for the entire class. So other than that, I just want to just go over this. So it's a fun little fictitious little company that that Mr. Sanchez has created. I just made a little additions to it, so make it a little more relevant, but not have too many or as many transactions in there just because of the time limit. However, this is a great way to kind of see what it's like to really run a business, and this is how we do it manually. Okay, let me repeat that. This is how we do it manually. Okay. And usually what happens is for those who take the accounting portion first, then we move into the second portion, which is going to be QuickBooks, and we would continue with Coffee Cafe. Oh. However, I don't like that. Just because, if we were to do that, I'm not going to be able to touch all bases on every single point in the book. However, that's why when I do QuickBooks, I'm teaching straight from the book. So in case we get lost or anything like that, it comes directly from the book. Okay? But other than that, Coffee Cafe, right? It's going to be a small sole proprietor, and it's going to be a coffee shop. Pretty straightforward. So we're going to be looking into our customers. We're going to be looking at the vendors that we're going to be looking at. Okay. And a few sheets that you guys should have already downloaded or have readily available. First things first, you need to have your chart of accounts. That is the number one thing that you need to have in order to even create anything in your journal. So as you can see, this is a preset, pre-made chart of accounts. So these are all the accounts that you can use to look up to see exactly what you need to name the account, but also to do a reference number, such as the account number. The PR means post reference. This is where we take the number right here where it says post reference, and this is the number that you put in there. Because some accountants, what they do is they memorize either the account name by its number. And in this case, we are using the dual system where we have the name and the account number, just so that we have, 2 point of reference to be able to look at things. But so the chart of accounts, again, it's going to be organized based on account type. So here's your assets here. Your liabilities are right next door. Okay, your equities right here. And then all your incomes at the bottom with your expenses on the right side. So this is all the accounts that we will be utilizing throughout this entire course of Coffee Cafe. Okay, so it's important that you have this because this is also the tool that you would need in order to do one of the steps of the steps to do the transaction. Do you guys remember that from chapter? I think it's chapter 3, if I'm not mistaken. The 7 steps in order to do to record a transaction. This is one of them. To look in the chart of accounts to see if you even have an account named that, and then be able to put it in. Now again, if you don't have an account in the chart of accounts, you can absolutely not use that account. Right now, for the purpose of this class, for week 1 and week 2, I'm going to groom you guys to be the bookkeeper. So you guys have to follow what I tell you. Okay? I'm the accountant. Once the second week is over and we move into week 3 and week 4 and do the adjustments, I'm going to pull the reins on you, and you guys are going to be the accountant at the same time being a bookkeeper. Okay? So for right now, I'm the accountant, you're the bookkeeper. I'm telling you how to journalize everything, and you're going to go refer to the chart of accounts and everything else. Anything that you, like I said, one of the steps of the how to record a transaction is to look at your chart of accounts and see if there's an existing account. Okay? Second thing that we're going to be looking into is our infamous general journal. So here again, we see it nice and neat. Again, it's going to be the date on the left side. Your description is going to be your account names. And then in parentheses, italicized, whatever you want to do it, as long as it's in parentheses, you can write whatever description you want. But for this case, I'm going to tell you what I want to see. But after that, you tell me what you want to see. Okay? PR is the post reference number. So this is where you type in your account numbers. Okay, so make sure when you do the account name that it matches the account number. And then this is where you're going to figure out, is it going to increase with a debit or is it going to increase with a credit? Okay, so this is where you have to think about what the flow of transaction is at hand and how to properly journalize it. And the number one rule is your debits must always match your credits. Okay. Other things that I want you to be also having out is your check register. So in this little scenario, we will be writing checks. So this page here should be pretty straightforward. You got the date, and this is like your checkbook, okay? You have all the checks. So every check that you've written, you need to record it in here properly, to writing out how much and who you wrote it out to, okay? Fourth thing, since this is the fourth thing, you're going to record all of your receipts and your deposits. This is very important, okay? And I'm going to tell how it is. Every time you receive some kind of money, I want you to deposit it right away. So that means every single day when we make a total sales, at the end of the day, I want you to deposit the money into the bank, okay? So this is where you record all of your receipts, and at the end of the day, you deposit the money into the bank, okay? So this is very, okay. And then lastly, for this section only, I want you to also keep track of all of your purchase orders, okay? This is very important because if you're making 1 billion purchase order transactions and you're not keeping track of it, you're going to be receiving left and right and you're not going to know what's going on. And another thing is too is every time you make a purchase order, you should also keep track of it. You should always keep track of it because if you order something or and it's not coming in and you just write it off in your books, you never write it off because it's a purchase order. It's a non-transaction. You never record this transaction. You're going to be outstanding whatever it is. Because if that person never sends you the items, it wouldn't affect your transaction, but it's like saying, I could have sworn I ordered this, I need it for inventory, and you didn't send me anything. And that's where you're going to talk to your vendor about. Okay? So it's important that you have a place to record all of your purchase orders, okay? So it gives you a list of when you purchased it, what's the purchase order slip number, who is it, what is the item, and how much did they quote you for, okay? So it's important that you actually have a place to record all that information. Yes.
Lynn, you said, okay, the check register, you said was that the first one that you said that we need to have the check register? Or record record any checks that we cut. Is that correct?
That's the check register. Yes. That's the third thing on the list.
Oh, that's the third one. Okay.
Yeah, the first one's the chart of accounts.
I was looking for the sheets because I printed them all out, but there's so many of them.
I know. That's why yeah.
I was getting it out of order.
Yeah, so that's why I was like, Excel makes it so much easier. So instead of flipping through a bunch of pages, you just have it just right there. But yes, because we will be utilizing all 5 sheets.
Okay.
except for yes, we're going to utilize all 5 sheets.
Okay.
Okay. For this week, yes, we're going to use all 5 of them. So yeah. So yeah. So that's the third. That's the third thing. So it goes first your chart of accounts, your general journal second, your check registers third, your deposits is fourth, and the last one is your purchase orders. I mean, the fifth one is purchase orders. Okay. Now that's just doing regular transactions. That's just recording transactions. Okay. The second one that we're going to be looking into, or the second batch of files, is going to be your general ledger. Okay. It is very important that you have your general ledger because usually what Mr. Sanchez does is he actually has you complete the whole transaction for the whole week and then do step number 4, which is to post it to the general ledger. I say no, to speed up the process, but also to make sure that every transaction that you do, and you know the balance in the bank at all times or balance in the transactions at all times. I want you to, after the transaction has been posted to the journal, I want you to transfer it and post it directly into the ledger immediately. Okay? So this way you don't have to go back and forth. I mean, you don't have to do one whole entire thing and then go back and then go all the way to the top, enter everything in. I want you to do it one step at a time, okay? Just so then, one, you can keep track of how much money you have in the bank, because in the first week, you're going to be looking at almost maybe like 10 transactions. You want to make sure that you can see how your money is flowing. Okay, and then this one, I'm going to show you the formula for Excel on this one. So be sure that you have this worksheet available. Now, how this worksheet's available, if you printed out the Word document, it's in order, 100%, and there's page numbers at the bottom. I want you to utilize that. I want you to use that, so that one has to stay in order.
Oh,
Okay, it's going to be in order
yeah.
from account type. So it's going to be in order of assets, and it's in order of account number. Okay, so if you just look a brief look at it, you're going to have every single account listed in the chart of accounts. There are some of them that I have kind of taken out because we won't actually use them for this month, and we're not going to continue. So I want there will be a few missing things in there, but I just wanted to save you paper, but also to confuse you less and have to waste more paper. I cut out a few accounts that you're not going to be using. However, I kept the more important ones. So the first page you should see is your assets. And it should have your bank, your checking account, which should be like about 3 pages long. Then you have your register, your petty cash. Okay, all of that's going to be in order. And I'm going to be able to, we're going to utilize this because, again, it is very important to everything that we do. Okay? And then that one is, it's all in one file. So you should have everything from your assets, liabilities, equity, revenues, and your expenses all in one document. So I believe it's about 30 something pages, or maybe 40 even.
It's 40 something. 39.
39 pages. So about 40 pages, right? All of that is in there for you. I have broken mine down by account type. So it's easier for me to look up as well. Okay, so that is the second batch. The last batch I want to also show you guys is going to be your subsidiary ledger. Okay, this is going to be the list of all of your customers, a list of all of your vendors, and a list of your employees. Okay, and that's all you need to have right now. For payroll, I don't believe I introduced it yet, so you might only have your list of customers and your vendors. Payroll or / employees will come next week. So that one's just an additional 2 pages. So don't worry about that for now. But for this one, it's going to be your customers and your vendors. This is very important because we also want to keep track of with our customers and our vendors, keeping track of your bills. This is important that you need to know to be able to record and be able to keep track of your bills and keep track of the people that owe you money. So this is the second thing, okay? And for today, those are the only three group things that I require you to have for today. The last thing that I don't require you to print it out just because I'm going to have it on my screen as well. But if you want to, after the class is over, if you want to go over this whole entire case study again, you're more than welcome to do it. So you can just keep practicing it on your own. But there, I did post the scenarios. So again, this whole thing's about maybe like roughly. It can range from anywhere from 10 to 15 pages, depending on which week it is. But for the first week, it should look like this. Again, it's a list of all the transactions that happened that week. Okay? All right. And then, yes. If we get to the end of the day today, which I don't think we will, I'm gonna leave that up in the air for tomorrow. So I'll explain that tomorrow. Okay. So those are the only things that you need to have in order to get started with Coffee Cafe. Okay. All right. So we're gonna start off with our scenario because what we're gonna do is we're gonna read it together and we're gonna evaluate the information and see, and let's go over the 7 steps of how to record a transaction. Okay, so starting everything off, I need you to have your general journal out. Okay, I need your general journal out, and I need you to have your chart of accounts on the side or something like that. Okay, so your general journal and your chart of accounts. Okay, so we're going to start here. Okay, all right. So the first thing that has happened is you are given $30,000 to invest in a company. Okay, and you're going to take this $30,000. So here's the scenario. The $30,000, and I forgot to mention this, but I'm going to choose Mr. Bob Mason because he's a homie. Mr. Bob Mason is your boss. I'm the accountant. You're the bookkeeper. Let's leave it at that. Okay?
Okay.
Yes. Okay? So again, the boss is Mr. Bob Mason. I am the accountant. You are the bookkeeper. All right. So Mr. Bob Mason was given $30,000 to invest in a company, and he decides to take that money and buy a business, and he wants to be in the business of selling coffee. He wants to be in the business of selling coffee, and he wants to name it Coffee Cafe. So first off, on May 31st, he goes ahead and goes to the bank and he checks out to see if there's any businesses out there that he can already purchase. Now, these are pre-made businesses because you can't actually go to the bank and be able to do that, okay? And be able to see, hey, whether they're going to help you with the loan or anything like that, or you just need a place to get started. You could go to the bank for that. And we found out there was one business that went bankrupt, and it used to be a coffee shop. Okay, so they had already preset materials that were there, and you decided, not you. Bob decided he wants to buy this business and he wants to buy the name of the business so he can change it. Okay, so here We got furniture. So the business came with the furniture, and it also came with a coffee brewer, and it also came with goodwill. Okay, so what is goodwill? Goodwill is, I'm sorry?
Name.
Yes. Yes, it's the business name. Good. So in grand total, we spent $8,000 to buy this business. Okay. So let's look at this transaction. All right. Can we record the? Can we record this transaction?
Yeah,
Yes.
equipment, I mean, furniture, chart of accounts. Let's see, I just looked at, the furniture's, 1,300, we can put in the general journal.
Okay. So Andrea says yes. You can go ahead and journalize this.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Lee says you can do it as well. I say no. You can't.
Can't?
No,
Why?
because the
If you
reason.
got your expenses.
Yes, we have our. Yes, we do. We do.
and you
We
have your
do.
loan,
We don't have a loan.
Initial investment.
Yes, but there's also one key factor you need to have in order to actually start your business. What's the first thing that you need to have?
well, you have, building,
No, you have to apply for a license.
You need to apply for a license, but what's this? Okay, what's the second thing you need to have? In order to apply for a business license, you need one more thing.
property.
Not property. Not property.
Well, we have the business. It's
You
already
have
there.
you have the business, okay? You definitely need your business license. What's the second thing that you need to have? It applies to Gap as well.
Oh,
Because this $30,000 is yours, right? It's your pocket money.
right.
What is the one thing you need to do? It's an assumption.
Oh, we have to
Building,
separate
yeah.
the business from your personal,
Personal?
Exactly. So what do you need to have?
the,
Oh,
what's
your-
it called?
Well, you have your account set
Account.
up.
You have your account set up, but what do you need to have separate?
Your funds has to be separate from the business. What is it, the economic, is it the economic?
Yes, yes, yes.
Oh, am I, okay.
Yes.
One of the, it's an economic something assumption.
The business or economic assumption. Good. Now, how do you differentiate your personal funds from your business?
Separate bank account?
You need to have a bank account. Good job, David. Good job.
That's just too easy.
I know.
Yes.
I'm thinking for something, I'm looking for something complicated.
Right, that's what I was.
You need to open a business bank account in order to do any of those transactions because technically, if you were to do this, this comes out of your personal pocket, which in this case it does. But the one thing that validates that is you need to have a business, you need to apply for a business license, and you need to go through the state and the county that you're doing business in and be able to obtain that license. So, but in order to record anything at all, period, anything at all, you need to establish a bank account. So, okay, so we can keep this in mind to have that transaction that we bought the business already.
Right.
Boom. Okay. So what happened on the 3rd of June?
Oh, we're already going to court.
Yes, we're going to go to a court to do what?
Apply for new
To
name.
apply.
To apply for a name change. That is correct. Okay, because right now we bought the business name. Now we're going to the court to change that name because we want to name it to Coffee Cafe. So that right there is they're gonna charge us $25 for that.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, great. Okay. So anything that we need to put there. Can we re-record this transaction?
Yes, because
But
you already
we have an
established a
account
bank
now,
account.
right?
And you have a, property, place and things, so,
You not yet.
well, you already got the license.
No, we haven't. This is just to change. This is just to change the name. We haven't even got the license yet.
I got.
This
I
is we're,
already
okay.
got the license.
No, we didn't. We
Oh,
we
no, that's
we
not-
only bought the.
that's on the fourth day.
Yes, yes. That's on the 4th day.
Yeah,
Okay,
so
we're right
that-
now. We're only on Monday, the June 3rd. Okay,
Well, heaven
and
forbid we have everything, together before we go to court.
well,
That'd just be wrong.
no. In this case, no. This is scenario by scenario based. So right now, on June 3rd, we decided to go to court to change the name, and in order to change the name, they charged us $25 for that.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Okay, well, I see that on June 4th, we opened business checking.
Yeah, but we're still on June 3rd right now.
Yeah, so we still don't have money yet
Yeah,
to account for any money.
Exactly. So, is there a transaction?
We still can't record this.
We still cannot
because
record
you
it.
have to deposit the money, you have to have money in
So we
the account.
are.
Exactly.
Set up till the next day.
Exactly. But you can't predict the next day if we're still on this day. Okay.
Yeah.
So now the next day has came by.
Okay,
And-
now we get money.
Well, not yet. We applied. Okay, the first thing that we did was we woke up 8 a.m. and we applied for the Nevada and the city business license. Okay, and we did this online. I don't know. Let's just say we did this online. Okay, so they charged me $250 for the Nevada, and then they charged me for the Citibank, they charged me $100 for. Now, I only applied for the business license. It's not 100% valid just yet. Okay, usually you apply for it about a week or two, depending on how good your business plan is. Then they'll send you either your business license or they'll send you a file back saying, we need more information. Okay, so this is just applying. Okay, so
So we're
they
buying all these, all this stuff and, we haven't got it yet.
yes, yeah, we're just applying.
So the third and the fourth, we wouldn't journalize anything
No,
yet.
good, because we're just applying.
That kinda
We're
makes no
still
sense.
setting it up, we're still getting things.
Exactly. We haven't gotten approved yet. Okay.
Right.
So 10 o'clock rolls around and we decide to finally open a business bank account. Okay. So here's your business bank account. Now that we finally opened it, we can go ahead and validate all these transactions. So we know that we paid for the business a total of $8,000. It's broken up to furniture, coffee brewer. Sorry about that. It's broken up to, again, it's broken up to a furniture. It's broken up as the coffee brewer, and it's broken up as Goodwill in the very beginning, right? We paid $8,000 for this company. Not only that, we also charged a total of $375, right, to get the business license and permit. Okay, just to do business, right? And this is considered a business license because we had to change the name in order to apply for the business license. You see how these are relevant? You have to have the business name in order to apply for the actual business license. You can't apply it as the previous name and switch it over. Then you have to do another court case. So we went ahead and changed the name first and then applied for the business license. So in total, that was $375. So, and then the rest is gonna go into the checking account. All right. So this on June 4th, you may now journalize this transaction. Okay. So on June 4th, now we can go ahead and go here and say June 4th. Okay. We need to have a checking account. Okay. We need to also have a furniture account. We also need to have the coffee brewer account. Goodwill. Goodwill.
What was Goodwill again?
Goodwill is the business name. You know how we purchased the
what?
name?
I'm sorry, hello?
Can you
The
hear me?
previous name of the company.
Yes,
Oh,
yes, that's the previous name of the company.
Okay, I forgot.
Yeah. This portion, I did not actually mention it to you guys yet, and I was going to, but I completely forgot because just went through the whole lecture very quickly. This portion is part of depreciation. Okay.
Oh,
Yes, it's at the very very end of the lecture notes. It's called what happens when you have loss of or disposal of an asset. That is what goodwill is. It's that whole little small section. You read upon it. It usually happens when you buy a business. If you buy it too short, then you have a loss. If you buy it at a good price, you gain goodwill. Now, what we did is we purchased the name, the entire business the way it is. So the business name is considered goodwill, but we traded the goodwill to change the name. However, the name still stands there because it's still considered some kind of intangible. What do you call it? It still holds up its value because it's we got a gain out of it. I don't know if that makes any sense. You're gonna have to read upon it. It's going to be under the description of loss on disposal of assets. Okay, so goodwill is going to be because we bought the company and we bought the name. Okay.
Yes.
All right, and the last thing that we got to do is the license. Okay.
Permit.
License and permit expense. Okay. And then lastly, the one thing that we need to do is, what did we originally start? What was our original cost? What did we start? What's the value of my company? 30,000. Yes, that's going to be considered my equity because right now that is how much I'm originally investing in my company. So my company is worth, as of right today, it is worth $30,000. Okay. So now that I've had my accounts in there, I want you to go ahead and get into the habit of going into your chart of accounts right now and start looking up every single account. So my checking here is going to be for 10-100. Okay. Let's see what my furniture is. Furniture.
13,000.
13,000 is my furniture. What about my coffee brewer?
Coffee brewer, bistro, how much?
Coffee grinder, coffee brewer, 15, 10.
Yes, 15 to, okay, good. All right. We also have to have goodwill, which is considered an asset, right? It's considered an intangible asset. Is 19,100. Okay.
1,100.
And then let's go ahead and keep scrolling down. So what is my equity account? What is my equity account?
Equity,
30,000?
Okay, see, this one says owner's equity. So I need to change my account name because it has to match 100%. You cannot write equity the way it is, just equity. It has to be owner's equity. Okay? So you make note of that. All right? And then let's see, what about my license and business permit? License and business permit. Right here is $6,600. So I'm gonna go ahead and go to my chart of account at my
Oh, wait, that says depreciation expense, is that what you just said? 6,600?
no, that's license.
Oh, I'm looking at the wrong thing.
Okay, so checking was 10,100. My furniture was 13,000. My coffee brewer was 1510, you said?
15,010.
Yeah. Goodwill was
19,100.
19,100 and my license is 6,600. And then lastly, my equity is 30,000. And I got to change this because it has to match my account 100%. So I need to change this and make sure that I write owner's equity.
Okay.
Okay.
6,600, okay.
Oopsies. And I just wrote my account wrong. Okay. So with Excel, what you can do is in order to make sure that your debits and credits match, you can use your equal sum. You can just make sure that way. So that's the great thing about Excel is you'll be able to find your mistakes a lot quicker. Oh, wait, hold on. Wrong.
That should be under credit, shouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yes. I know. I wrote in the wrong one
Oh,
again.
okay. Oh, no, I'm not sure.
No. You're right. 30,000. There you go. All right. So let me see. My furniture cost me $4,000. My coffee brewer was 1,900, and my Goodwill was 2,100, and my license and permit was $375. And then we know that we started off with our business with $30,000. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to you can either you can calculate all this and subtract it from this, or but in this case I've already calculated the first transaction for you. You're welcome. So you should have $21,625 in your bank account as of today. Okay?
Okay.
All right. So, and then lastly, you're going to have to write a little description on the bottom just to indicate what has happened here. Okay?
Start a business?
You could do start a business, but in this case, I put court case 25 and the NV business. I'm gonna shorten that up just a bit, just because it doesn't actually. It doesn't matter how long your description is, as long as you have one. But I'm just gonna say NV business. Actually, I'm gonna do NV biz license, comma, was it 375, comma, business itself is $8,000. $8,000. Oh no, it says purchase business. Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna do that. That's better. Purchase business, $8,000.
Purchase business,
Mm-hmm.
how much?
$8,000.
8,000, okay.
So 8, 1, 2, 3, and I'm gonna end my parentheses there. Okay, that I got my business license. Okay, so business license for $375.
Why do you need the amounts in there if you have them above?
It's just okay. So this one I broke down the business license just so then you can see what's going on. So in case you needed it, like a full description of exactly what you bought, but I'm gonna do that in my ledger. and you'll see exactly what I mean when I say in my ledger. But in this case, I'm going to do it because I also have to know that, I obtained my business license. It cost me $375. I've also obtained the business itself for $8,000. Now, in this one, you don't see the business as $8,000.
No.
You know what I mean? So this is just this is just me being descriptive as much as I can, so I can recognize. Oh, okay. I bought the business license, and I bought the business for $8,000. Okay. So there is my very first transaction.
Okay.
Okay.
Are we supposed to be doing this on our sheet?
Yes.
Loaded ledger, general
Journal.
journal?
Mm-hmm.
General journal.
Okay. I'm sitting here just watching you do it.
Yes. So okay. So yes. Remember. I gave you the two options. You can either sit and watch, but I
No, I
recommend.
want to do it to see if I download it properly.
I
I'll catch up real quick.
Okay. I recommend you do this with me so you can grasp the concept a lot easier.
Yeah.
Okay, because a lot of people can just sit there and they start drowning my voice out. So
Yeah.
Oh, no, I'm paying attention. It's just, it sure sounds like Andrea's doing it. So am I supposed to be doing it? Because she's asking questions and it's like, oh my gosh, I'm supposed to be entering these things. No, I'm paying
Well, you
attention,
know-
but I'm not, it's like, okay, I'll catch up real
You,
quick.
know,
Don't.
you guys do know that's what guys do. Like you start talking, like okay, we start thinking something else.
My thing is at the top now, okay.
okay, yes. So this is because when you do go into a company and they ask you to be a bookkeeper, they might slap to you. They might say, here's QuickBooks. But you also have to, when you go into QuickBooks, you also have to understand some slight knowledge of accounting, okay?
Yeah.
Because you're not going to understand, especially when you're doing your adjustments, you still have to do a general journal entry, regardless of whatever it is. So if you don't understand, now I do say this as well. QuickBooks, you do not need to take in an accounting class in order to do QuickBooks, because QuickBooks is pretty standard. You receive a bill, you enter it in. That's all you know. But if you have accounting background, you will understand the accounting that it does behind the scenes, which means like every time you enter a bill, what does that do? It increases your accounts payable. How? Because you owe money now. So that is exactly what the accounting behind does. Now, again, because you guys are having accounting first, you will see that how easy it is to just do this in QuickBooks is so much more easier. But I want,
Guys, you remember the name Bob Mason? Should use that a lot.
yes, Mr. Bob.
QuickBooks.
Mr. Bob Mason is my favorite person.
Yeah.
So, yes, so in this case, I want to teach you how to do it manually so you can understand the flow of transaction, okay? Because again, this small section will show up again in QuickBooks when you're doing your adjustments, because the adjustments require you to do your general journals. Okay, so again, this is just for your practice, but I also want, again, when we're going into week 3 and week 4, you're on your own. You tell me what to do. I'm not going to tell you anything. I'm only going to guide you the right way, but I'm not going to tell you anything. And by week 3, you need to know how to do sales. So good luck. Okay? All right. So,
I'm gonna be sick that week.
oh, you're funny. Okay?
Okay, I'm not able.
It's okay. If you can just find a real quick piece of paper, that's fine too. What I do plan to do at the end of each week, I will post the answers just so then you can be either one catch up or two. I will actually post the actual Excel sheets on there if you want to just glide through for this first 2 days. Because I do expect to finish the first week within the next 2 days, within today and tomorrow. Okay, and I will post it if you want to catch up the second week. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So that's the very first transaction. Now, I told you that I want you to directly post this to your ledger. I want you to do step 4 of the accounting cycle right away. Now, but before we do that, the first thing that we did in the very beginning is we made a deposit. We deposited in the bank $21,000 and 620. No wait. Yes. Yeah, $5.
625.
Exactly. So we're gonna go to our deposits and receipts form, and that's the first thing that we did. What did we do? Our receipt was 21,625. Okay, it's not technically a receipt, but it's definitely money that.
That is.
Say that again.
On the check register.
It's
Which read?
Which number is that? Do you know
it.
what-
There is no number to this one. It's a separate form.
It's a separate form, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's under check register,
Oh,
Uh,
I see check register, I got the check
Yeah.
register.
check
Oh.
register, page 3, no, it's deposit, or bank deposit.
Yes.
Let's see the deposits.
Yeah, it just says deposit. It says Coffee Cafe deposits. It should be in the same pile as your check register deposits and
I have the
your
check
purchase
register
orders.
Right here. I've got the check
Is-
register.
It's, the, check register, bank
And I have the-
deposits, and purchase orders.
Oh,
Let's say bank deposits and,
I have too many I have too many papers. 'Cause I'm
it's
printing
only
all
4
this-
pages.
That's
Yeah, but I
okay.
printed out everything, so
I did too.
Okay, don't worry don't worry about this page too much because this is more this is definitely for more of whatchamacallit. This is more for when we deal into sales. So as of right now, you don't need to worry about this page because I'm only entering one.
are you recording this too?
Yes, I am.
Oh, good, okay, beautiful, all right,
So
then I can find it later.
all right, so I'm gonna go ahead and put the date in here. So June 4th, okay. And that did
I got it
not
The first time 6.
that did not come out right. I want the date to be 6/4. Okay, it's not working. I don't know what's wrong with my formatting. Let me.
Oh, I found the bank deposits.
Okay, perfect.
Right. It's right with the others, you're right. Okay.
All right, so I'm gonna click OK. There. Okay, so no, I don't want.
Still the wrong date.
There you go. There you go. Perfect. 2020. Okay, and we deposited that same day. So we're going to type in the same number. So
625.
and then now this, I didn't change the format on this side. I don't know why it did that. I want it in commas. There you go. Okay, so there, I had $21,000. Now I deposited the $21,000, and there it is. Okay.
Shouldn't we have put 30,000?
Why? Do we have $30,000 in our pocket?
Well, no, that's what
No.
we got.
That's what we got,
We don't have that.
but we did.
We
We
don't have that
we
because we bought furniture, we bought all those other things, so all we have left is $21,625 to deposit. That's
correct.
cash,
Correct.
in cash.
Exactly.
The rest are spent.
Yes. we had to pay
This
for our
is
business
about
license.
Deposits, right? We're recording deposits.
Yes, that's correct. Hmm.
Well, I just figured before we could write a check, we gotta have money in the bank.
Well, we did. We just opened. But we just opened our bank account.
Yeah.
Yeah, $21,625.
Yeah, this is what this is.
We,
This is what we opened the bank account, correct? We need to put money in there.
Yes.
This is how much money we had after buying the business, after buying the business license, after accumulating everything. This is how much money we have left. And we're going to put it in the bank right now. So now we can write checks.
Okay.
Okay? All right, good. Now we need to go transfer all of this information in directly to our general ledger. Okay? So we're going to start with our ledger. And the very first thing that we're going to be looking at is page number 1. Top of the thing is going to say bank. Okay? I'm going to skip that because I'm involving my checking account. So I'm going to go ahead and indicate for the very first thing is, what did I do? I added money, correct?
Very
Okay.
first is date, but then you added money, yes.
This is the general ledger we're in now?
Yes.
Okay, good, I got it.
All right. In my item, I'm going to put my description is I opened bank account. Okay.
Okay.
My post reference is going to be anything that you put in your general journal is going to be your post reference. So in this case, I'm going to look at my general journal, and at the top of, that's the wrong one. At the top of my general journal should give you a page number, and I'm on page number 1.
oh,
Okay, so in my ledger, this is where in my post reference, is going to be General Journal 1. Okay?
okay.
Mhm.
Oh, wait, could you repeat that one more time? I'm sorry.
So in your ledger,
Uh-huh.
okay, so we're taking our general journal and we're putting it into our ledger. Okay, we're going to find out what our account balance is at any given moment. So in this case,
Okay.
my first entry here in my general ledger is going to be from my bank deposit, which is I opened a bank account, right, on June 4th. My post reference here is going to be whatever page on the general journal you posted this transaction in.
Gotcha.
Okay, so in this case, this was on my very first page of my general journal. So I'm going to go ahead and indicate it right here that it's general journal number 1. Okay, now did I debit the account or did I credit the account?
You debited.
Credit.
I added, that's correct. So here is going to be for 21,625. Oopsies, hold on, sorry, let me go back up. Change that to this. Okay, so here I debited 21,625. Now,
Yes.
I'm going to go over to the left side, to the right side, and I'm going to notice that I have a normal balance on this side, okay? Now, because bank is an asset, what is the normal balance of this account?
A debit.
A debit.
Yep.
Now, did we start with anything?
No.
No.
No, but we just added $1,000. So therefore, my current balance in my banking account will be for how much?
21,625.
Exactly. It's going to be for this amount. Now, once we move into the second transaction in our bank account, I will show you a formula so you'd be able to calculate how to get to have a running balance. Okay? So this is exactly what the purpose of using Excel for, but it's also to how to keep track of your bank to keep track of every single account. Okay? So let me see if we're okay, good. So that was my very first thing was my checking account. Now, what I advise students to do is anything that you put in your journal, I want you to do it in the same order. So here I put checkings number 1. My furniture comes after. Then my coffee brewer comes next, and then my Goodwill comes next. Okay, it does. You want to do it in this order so you do not lose track. Okay. Now, yes, you can have accounts that will come like maybe I have an accounts payable at the top and then I have all these things accounts at the bottom afterwards, right? I still want you to go through each one and go in the order because that way it keeps track of your records, but also so you don't mess up your ledger. Because there are many times where some students, even myself, right? I've done it before. I went out of order and I end up forgetting to record an account. So it's very crucial that you should just do one at a time in the way that you're exactly how it's written. So if I wrote my check and I made it a debit, that means when you go into your general ledger, it's got to be exactly the way. It's got to be for checking account and it's got to be a debit, okay? If I'm looking at my owner's equity account, it needs to be a credit because that's exactly what I recorded it as. Okay?
Yes.
So in this case, I have furniture for $4,000. Okay? I don't actually know the page number for this, but it's definitely
Oh,
it's pretty far down actually. So this should be page 2
general journal?
in your general ledger.
Oh, wait, what are we going through now?
Furniture.
Too many papers.
Yeah.
Equity is pretty far down.
Yeah, equity is very far down.
Yeah, there it is.
Okay, so furniture, hold on, maybe if it's helpful for you, I shall open the,
Oh, on page 9, is that what we're looking at?
for furniture?
Yeah.
Page 9?
General, wait, I'm looking at general, wait, I must be looking at something totally different. Oh,
General ledger?
okay, we just did the general ledger, and now what are
Yeah.
we doing? We're on a different page now?
We are still in the general ledger.
Oh, we're
Yes.
still in the general.
We need to do every single account on there.
Oh, I see, you're going through it for the different accounts.
Yes, yes. Now you can
Gotcha.
look it up by account number.
First page on 9. It is on page 9.
Yeah, I thought I saw the furniture on page 9, yeah.
Let's see. Furniture. I'm almost there.
Yeah, furniture's right on page 9.
Okay, perfect. Furniture. Good. Now you can look it up by account number if you'd like. I mean, it's up to you because they're all in order by account numbers. But in this case, I made it a little easier for you because I placed page numbers at the bottom. But I'm not using Word. I'm using Excel. Now, of course, with Excel, you know, if you're really good at Excel, you can just highlight the row for row A or highlight the column for column A, and then click Control F and search it that way. But in this case, because you're doing the paper one, that's not going to help you any more than me telling you to do that. So I'm just going to...
Page number's not gonna help.
Exactly what I was afraid of. I knew I should have taken the Excel advanced before I took accounting. I mean, yeah, I'm very confused at this point. And I didn't even know we were entering this thing, so I don't know. I really should have taken the Excel first.
It's okay.
Everybody told me I didn't need to, so, but now, I'm
You,
very,
you didn't need to.
well, I mean, I don't
Yeah, 'cause I mean,
even know if I
know
download, well, it's okay. I'll just finish it out today and see if I can catch up later,
No worries about that.
figure this out.
Okay, so I found my furniture account. And here I'm going to indicate what was the date? It was June 4th.
that was the 4th, yeah.
Yes.
Mhm.
Boy.
I'm going to indicate my item as, or my description, item description. They're pretty much, they're the same thing. Whatever you want to write in here, you can put whatever you want here. I'm going to say I purchased it because I don't need to write furniture because I'm already in the furniture account. That doesn't make any sense.
Oh,
So I'm just going to write purchased.
so just say
I almost did
purchase.
that. I almost did that too. Put furniture in the furniture.
I,
account.
I just wrote furniture.
Yeah.
I'm realizing, wait a minute, it does say furniture. So just put
Well, then,
per-
yeah.
So I just put purchase. I just put purchased. And where in my general journal was this? This was on.
This was a debit
Mm-hmm.
A debit
for
1300.
4,000.
Uh-huh. General journal number 1. It was a debit for $4,000. And this is my very beginning. It's so that means my account should be for $4,000. Now, I had this formatted beforehand. I just don't know what happened when I deleted everything. So, yeah. Anyways, so if you guys know how to format it, please do. So $4,000, okay? And I have a $4,000 in my furniture account, okay? So what's the next thing I need to look up? My coffee brewer.
Yeah, coffee brewer.
Coffee brewer should be below the furniture section. It should be under
Okay.
not it's past office equipment. Let's see.
Past computers.
Equipment copy brewers on
printers.
page 13.
Oh, 13?
Yes, coffee brewer is on page 13. Make sure you're in the coffee
I see.
brewers and not equipment, okay? So how this is organized, okay? So something I did forget to mention is if you actually look at your chart of accounts, anything that is in capital letters is your main account.
Oh, okay.
Anything in regular letters is your sub account. Good.
Account. Okay,
Yes.
that's good.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So in this case, I'm going to go into the actual coffee brewer account. And I'm going to indicate that on June 4th. Okay. I'm going to write purchased. And then it was on my general journal number 1. And how much did I debit my account for?
For 1,900.
1,900 is correct. And then that means I should start off with 1,900, okay, in my balance. So again, I'm going to reformat this so that it's to my liking. Okay, good. So what's the next thing that I've also accumulated?
Name,
What is it called?
Goodwill.
Goodwill. Now this should be at the very bottom of your accounts for assets. But I don't have the not the last page, not page 45 or not page 39, but it's going to be the last three accounts in the asset account. Okay. Okay, so let me see. It should be. Did everyone find it?
We're looking for Goodwill.
Yes, Goodwill. It should be. Goodwill should be. Okay, I found Goodwill. It is on page 16.
16.
16. At the top of page 16 is deposits and then Goodwill right there.
Okay.
Okay?
Goodwill, I see it.
And then we're going to indicate the date. Oopsies, wrong account. Oh, wrong sheet. So we know that on June 4th. I'm going to write business name. Okay, and it was my general journal number 1, first page. And how much how much did I put in my account?
2,100.
2,100. Okay.
And it was a debit.
Mhm.
And the PR number is 19100.
Okay, are you doing that in your ledger or are you doing that in your journal?
This is my general ledger.
Your general ledger, your PR is going to be whatever number that you put it on your general journal. The page number.
It's the same one. I'm looking for my general journal, and I'm copying it onto the general ledger.
So under your post reference, it's a number, right?
Yeah,
Okay, no. I said that for your ledger, your post reference is going to be the general journal that you indicated the page number on.
oh, that's right.
Yeah.
You did say that, okay, yeah, I've been doing that, I did that when you said it, and then I forgot.
Yeah.
I've been putting the number on, okay, that's
Okay.
right.
So on your journal, right, your post reference is your account number. On your ledger, it's wherever you posted it in the journal. So again, if I need to find my discrepancy, I can look at my post reference saying, okay, I recorded this on this specific journal page. I just flip to that page instead of go through each date
Right,
and find it there.
okay,
Okay.
more sense.
All right. So there I recorded my goodwill.
Okay.
All right. Then the next one, okay, make sure that in your balance, okay, that you're in the correct one, that you're in the correct section, as in like if you debited your account and you started with 0, so that means you should have a debit balance in your account.
Right,
If you started with 0 and you added a debit, you need to make sure that it's a debit.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Then now we gotta go to what's page 36? Oh, for the business expense.
License and permit.
Perfect. Good job. So here I'm gonna look up my license and business expense. So this is payroll, office supplies, lost, license and permit expense right here. So I'm gonna go ahead and write June 4th. Now this is where I can be descriptive and say, okay, so the state charged me, so NV license was for $250. NV license was for $250, comma, city what charged me for city license was for 100, comma, and then court was $25. Yeah.
I'm sorry, what page was that on?
36.
36?
Oh, 26?
36. 3.
Oh, 36, 36,
Yeah.
okay. No wonder I couldn't find it, okay.
Okay, there you go. So here I indicate that my Nevada license was $250, my city license was for $100, and then I had to pay court for $25. Okay. So
Wouldn't you put the license number in there instead of this?
say that again.
Wouldn't you put the license number in there instead of what it is?
What do you mean? We don't have a license number.
Oh, I figured we applied for a license, they'd give us a number.
You can put it in there, but we applied for it. We haven't received it yet.
Yeah. Okay, I figured, I was assuming we received it.
Oh, yeah, right, I see what you're doing, okay.
No, we haven't received it yet.
Okay.
We applied for the same day that we opened our bank. We're still on the 4th. Okay. So my post reference is General Journal number 1. And how much did I increase my account for?
375.
$375 on the debit side. Okay.
And we already did the owner's equity, right?
No, not yet, because we have to do it in order. Okay, I don't want you to jump ahead unless you've been doing this for a while. I mean, you could free range this and do whatever you want, but just make sure that your accounts, that they, every single thing that you've done so far, that you remember to record everything. Because, like I said, if you were to skip owner's equity and complete that first, and then you completely forgot about the license and business expense, that's exactly why you have discrepancies when you do your trial balance.
Okay.
Okay, so in this case, for the purpose of this class, I want you to keep practicing just do it in order. Okay,
Okay.
so owner's equity.
I'm looking.
That's right.
Oh.
Did you find it already?
No, I was looking at something totally different. I was looking to the others, part and I didn't find it.
Oh no, did I forget equity in this?
Oh,
Oh no, this is sales tax payable.
No, I
Um,
saw you when you were scrolling.
You saw it.
Yeah. I
okay,
think
yes, it's going to be on page 23. Owner's
Oh.
equity is at the
It
top
shows right there.
of page of 23.
Yeah, got it.
Okay.
June, over. And please, 30,000.
Okay, so here, I'm at owner's equity. So June 4th. Okay. General journal number 1. It is a credit for 30,000. So therefore, I should have a credit balance. Make sure you're in the correct column. I have a credit balance of $30,000.
Right. Okay.
Okay.
Alright.
All right. So everyone's finished with that first transaction.
what'd you put for just the item description?
I didn't put anything because it. What do you need to say?
I don't know. Open bank account. Or start. I don't know.
You can write investment, original investment, if you want to. I mean,
That would be good.
the whole purpose of your equity is the value of your company. If you want to put investment, you can. It's up to you what you want to do. I left it blank, but I just put investment right there, just so that I can indicate. Well, this is what I invested. I invested $30,000 into my company.
Okay.
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 All right. It is almost 4 o'clock.
It is?
Almost 3 o'clock.
I mean 3 o'clock. Yeah.